hours. Out of those 7 hours, 3 hours you have to focus on the education part. The remaining 4 hours you can have fun. Sounds like a good deal? 3 hours focus on education, 4 hours have fun. So those 4 hours are 2 hours of journey to go, 2 hours of journey to come. While you're there for those 3 hours, in those 3 hours also 45 minutes to 1 hour will only be lunch. So जो दो घंटे है, in those 2 hours, if you're serious, if you pay attention, if you observe, you will learn a lot of new things. This is not going to be boring like your classroom, but this is definitely going to be different. So what I'm essentially trying to say is, we all know about farmer suicides. We all know that farmers in Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, all over India commit suicides. You know this? Nobody in Italy is sitting and eating a biryani. There is a reason for it. There's a problem there. Right? The problem is something that management students can solve. So we want you to go there. We want you to talk to those people. We want you to understand what is this machine that in 150 years no one has been able to automate. So wooden machine that is there. What is it called? Anybody knows? Anybody has an idea what is that wooden machine called? Baggu or whatever that they weave in. You must have seen in movies or anything like that. What the 2 hours are for. बाकी का टाइम बस के बाद चिल्लाओ, लोगों को डिस्टर्ब करो, गाने लगाओ, पार्टी करो, नाचो, जो भी करो. लेकिन बस उतरते समय ये समझो कि पैसा वसूल कर. Good to go. We'll start. Whoever is here is here. One last thing. Guys, anybody who's here is here. No one is going to follow us to Pochampally. Any of your friends want to come on their own transport, tell them Smita ma'am will have a problem with it. They're dyeing the thread and then they're weaving the thread to make the design of the sari. So the coloring happens first and then the weaving happens. Generally the weaving happens first and then the print is just put on the machine. So because the weaving, so if you see like an elephant on a sari, that elephant has been designed like these thread by thread by thread by thread, and there will be like tens and thousands of lakhs of threads in that sari, in the 5.5 meters long sari. So the second component is where we are going to walk through the village, through their houses, go into their houses and see this process happen in bits and pieces. So when you're going into someone's house, how should you behave? No pushing, no dragging, no giggling, laughing, no cracking jokes, no pointing fingers. So that is why I'm trying to be this serious and this harsh and this strict, because when you cannot disrespect somebody. So please be empathetic. Understand the meaning of the word empathy. Road feelings అర్థం చేసుకొని వాంతో అట్లా ప్రవర్తించుడు. It's called empathy. Especially when they're poor people, you need to show more empathy. Nobody wants your sympathy. Understand the difference. Nobody wants your sympathy. Nobody wants you to go and say, "Ayyo Papa." No. That is not what we are going there for. If you say that, they will not like it. We are going there to understand, to observe. serve and to learn and to empathize. Right? So we are here. Kirti, ask him to figure a place to park.
अच्छा 365 डेज व्यूवर लोगों को काम दिलाना है, हमारा व्यूवर लोगों को, हमारा सोसाइटी मेंबर्स को। फिर हमारा सोसाइटी से मार्केट करना है। हमारा मार्केट में स्टेट आइलैंड व्यूवर्स कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी था, टेस्को। मेन हमारा प्रोडक्शन सिल्क, पोचमपल्ली इक्कत सिल्क मेन प्रोडक्शन था। मगर यही मंडल में 11 विलेजेस था, 11 विलेजेस में व्यूवर लोग रहता है। मगर दूसरा प्लेस पे काटन प्रोडक्शन होता है। यहाँ से 20 किलोमीटर कोयलगुड़म, मगर सिरपुरम, चौटुपल, ऐसा डिफरेंट प्लेस पे काटन प्रोडक्शन होता है। उसमें मेन हमारा पोचमपल्ली में सिल्क प्रोडक्शन होता है।
But just to put context to this, if cooperative welfare society is the solution, what do you all think are the problems? Selling price, okay. Middleman मतलब removing middleman ना? तो sentence थोड़ा complete करो, एक बार हाथ उठा के बोलो, yeah, you're right. Minimum selling price. So it doesn't apply in this context exactly, but I get what you're trying to say. What he's trying to say is, like sir just mentioned, providing employment to the weaver all 365 days is quality and best case practices is the problem. Yes. How do we continuously ensure there is supply of raw materials? Very good. Can you give it up for him? Clap. Yes. Thank you. So how do we ensure that raw material is reaching on time properly? That is another problem.
If the demand is more, the supply will be more, and eventually they'll get more of the products, right?
It's kind of trying to common financial problems. Sir, we are having
What I'm under, and I will take care of selling, and only you do the production, and you only focus on the production, and I will get you the raw material, and what do you say? I will sell, and I will give you the money, and I will distribute the money evenly. Isn't that beneficial for the people? Because then that way, like 50 people are getting continuous work. They don't have to worry about where the raw material is coming. They don't have to worry about when they will sell. बनाऊंगा और इन लोगों को नौकरी देके तनख्वाह दूंगा और ये सब लोग मेरे लिए बनाएंगे और उन लोगों को देगा 10 रुपए, वो बनवाएगा और वो लेके जाके बेचेगा 10,000 और वो 10,000 और 10 रुपए का बीच में वो खा जाएगा। जब वेलफेयर सोसाइटी है वो प्रॉफिट इवनली या प्रॉपरली वीवर लोगों को डायरेक्टली उनको मिलता है, समझ रहे हो? और वो बीच का कैपिटलिस्ट जो भी होता है वो नहीं खा जाता। Is this making sense? Do you understand now? So you can get into questions like, now where are you getting the raw material from? Now how are you ensuring that when the work is divided among so many houses, how are you ensuring that the quality is the same? अब इतने बावर्चियों में जाते हैं हम लोग, हर बावर्ची में बिरयानी का टेस्ट अलग रहता है, राइट? लेकिन अगर इतने मेंबरों में अगर आप काम बांट रहे हो तो आप कैसे इंश्योर कर रहे हो कि हर साड़ी का क्वालिटी एक ही रहे?
डिफरेंट रहता है,
चेंज हो जाता है ना, तो उसको स्टैंडर्डाइज आप कैसे कर रहे हो? So dig into questions like this. रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से ला रहे हो, क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्डाइज कैसे कर रहे हो, कितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं, कितने दिन लग रहे हैं। सर एक साड़ी बनाने में एवरेज में कितना टाइम लगता है?
लेंथ इज 7 sarees लेंथ आ गया, उसमें 45 days डाइंग एंड प्रोसेसिंग एंड वीविंग 45 days.
So one design, one cloth, you can, if you cut, becomes 7 sarees. To make that one entire cloth, it takes approximately 45 days
45 days.
from A to Z. So 45 days to produce 7 sarees. That is with hand. अगर ये machine कर रहा है तो सर
machine possible नहीं है हैंडलूम का बारे में.
handloom machine can't replicate. That is again another thing that I was telling you. When we go to the second component, we want you to look at the machine and we want you to see how complex the machine is and we want you to understand. When I say complex, जो चीज जितनी simple होती है ना, वो उतनी complicated होती है. तो वो चीज इतनी simple है, इतनी complicated है कि 50-100 सालों में कोई भी machine नहीं बना सका उसको. Automate नहीं कर पाएगा.
वो फास्ट नहीं है क्योंकि ये टाई एंड डाई का डिजाइन रहता है. एक एक धागा डिजाइन के बारे में एडजस्ट करके बुनता है, उसके बारे में वो मशीन में नहीं होता है. मशीन में होता क्या है, प्लेन क्लॉथ, वार टू प्लेन, वेब टू प्लेन है. तो मशीन में करे तो 1 घंटा में लाख का मीटर प्रोडक्शन होता है. ये हैंडलूम में होता नहीं, एक एक धागा एडजस्ट करके बुनता है ना, उसके बारे में मशीन में नहीं करता है, ओनली हाथ से बनता है.
Of the thread is happening first and then the weaving happens. So if there is an elephant design, if there's a design like that, imagine that the thread is designed, the thread coloring is happening first and then it is adjusted for it to become that pattern. Whereas in your ready-made stuff, the whole sari is there and the pattern is just printed on it, which is easy. But अगर तुमको thread align करके, adjust करके, ऊपर नीचे करके, box बना के नेट की तरह अगर तुम्हें stitch करना है, so that is a lot of work. Yes.
आपने जैसे कहा कि मार्केट में फेक प्रोडक्ट्स भी, तो उसको कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें?
ये लोग उससे बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है.
वही प्रॉब्लम है हमारा को, वही प्रॉब्लम मार्केट के बारे में. यही प्रिंटेड सारी हमारा पोचंपल्ली रीजन से प्रिंटेड होते हैं. मगर गुजरात में बड़ा बिल्डिंग्स था, उसमें पोचंपल्ली डिजाइन प्रिंट करके बेचता है, पोचंपल्ली साड़ी बोलते हैं. यही एक्चुअल पोचंपल्ली साड़ी 7,000 to 10,000 बीच में रहता. वो वर्जल सिल्क, वर्जल डिजाइन पोचंपल्ली. वही प्रिंटेड साड़ी पहले 500 to 1000 बिलो. कस्टमर क्या मालूम होता है, पोचंपल्ली साड़ी वैसा दिखता है बोल के परचेस कर. वही प्रॉब्लम था मार्केट में.
अभी तक उसका कोई उपाय नहीं है. निकालो कुछ.
बड़ा कंपनी वालों को हम फाइटिंग करने का, हमारा छोटा है वो कंपनी बड़ा वाला है, फिर उनसे लड़ा करने को मेरा आशा नहीं है. ये
And exactly at this point your job comes. This is the main objective of the visit.
Now you are understanding.
एक बार ये आइटम परचेस करके आप यूज करें तो आपको मालूम पड़ता वो फॉलूम का कैसा रहता है, वो हैंडलूम का कैसा है, डिफरेंट क्या है, वो तो आप यूज करने के बाद मालूम होता है.
Just by only seeing the
By touching and seeing you can differentiate. Because when something is made first and then printed versus when something has been colored and then weaved, you can obviously tell the difference.
Sir, does the community educate viewers about the trends and demands in the market?
Yes, the community does update the viewers with the latest patterns, with the latest designs, what is in, what is not. Now another thing that you need to understand over here is, who decides what is latest? These people. So you need to understand, when you go into these houses, you don't know what inspiration, what is inspiring them, where that design is coming from, but what? Because I'll tell you how the design is also made. तुमको लग रहा है ये लोग इसको लेके स्केच करते हैं? नहीं, वो डिजाइन कैसा बनता है पता है? अभी धागा है, धागे के ऊपर अभी तो साइकिल का टायर होता है. अभी हम लोग जाके देखेंगे, ये साइकिल का टायर होता है. साइकिल के टायर का रबर के पतले धागे बना के, अब ये रस्सी जो रहता है धागा पे, the design is made by tying knots of the rubber on the thread. Understand the logic? So you take a white thread, you tie rubber in multiple places and then you dye the thread. What happens? जहाँ पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहाँ पे रबर है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहाँ पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे कलर आएगा. So then you remove the rubber. There is some pattern coming. Then you tie the rubber in other places and then you dye it another color. then you remove the rubber, then you put the rubber in other places, you dyed in another color. Like that, you're making a design with using rubber, right? And dyeing, that's why it's called tie and dye. You're tying and dyeing, you're tying and dyeing, and the design and the coloring happens. Now you take that colored thread and you arrange it to make a design out of it, like an elephant or like whatever it is. And then you arrange it. After you arrange it, you put it in that machine and then you start weaving for 15 hours, 20 hours, and then that design gets interlocked. वो बनता है.
Sir, just like Louis Vuitton and other famous luxury brands, we can also market Pochampally as a luxury brand, sir, which makes only the members to buy the products, which in turn creates, there wouldn't be.
So you are already jumping into solutions, because you heard the problem from my mouth. Agreed? So don't jump to the solution. We want to give you 5 stages. Now he's right, he's on the correct point. We want to give you 5 stages. First stage is observe करो. उन लोगों से बात करो, वहां जाओ, उनकी परछाई की तरह वहां खड़ के वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसा कर रहे हैं, देखो, नोट्स लिखो, ऑब्जर्व करो, और ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद शॉप्स में जाके उन लोगों से बातचीत करो, बातचीत करके समझो, समझने के बाद जैसा ये बंदा बोल रहा ना, वैसे एक 3-4 आइडियाज बनाओ. वो 3-4 आइडियाज बनाने के बाद वो आइडियाज भी जाके उनको ही पूछो, सर आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, मैं कैसे बताऊंगा, शायद वो लोग वो ट्राई कर चुके और फेल हुआ, शायद उन लोगों को वो सूझा ही नहीं. तो वैसे 3-4 लिख लो, लिख लेके फिर दुकानों में जाते समय उन लोगों से बात करो, आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, आप वैसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे. These people. So you need to understand, when you go into these houses, you don't know what inspiration, what is inspiring them, where that design is coming from, but what, because I'll tell you how the design is also made. तुमको लग रहा है ये लोग इसको लेके स्केच करते हैं? नहीं, वो डिजाइन कैसा बनता है पता है? अभी धागा है, धागे के ऊपर अभी साइकिल का टायर होता है, अभी हम लोग जाके देखेंगे, ये साइकिल का टायर होता है, साइकिल के टायर का रबर के पतले धागे बना के, अब ये रस्सी जो रहता है धागा पे, the design is made by tying knots of the rubber on the thread. Understand the logic? So you take a white thread, you tie rubber in multiple places, and then you dye the thread. What happens? जहाँ पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहाँ पे रबर है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहाँ पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे कलर आएगा. So then you remove the rubber. There is some pattern coming. Then you tie the rubber in other places, and then you dye it another color. Then you remove the rubber. Then you put the rubber in other places. You dye it in another color. Like that, you're making a design with using rubber, right? And dyeing. That's why it's called tie and dye. You're tying and dyeing, and the design and the coloring happens. Now you take that colored thread and you arrange it to make a design out of it, like an elephant or like whatever it is. And then you arrange it. After you arrange it, you put it in that machine and then you start weaving for 15 hours, 20 hours, and then that design gets interlocked. वो बनता है.
Sir, just like Louis Vuitton and other famous luxury brands, we can also market Pochampally as a luxury brand, sir, which makes only the members to buy the products, which in turn creates, there wouldn't be.
So you are already jumping into solutions, because you heard the problem from my mouth. Agreed? So don't jump to the solution. We want to give you 5 stages. Now he's right, he's on the correct point. We want to give you 5 stages. First stage is observe करो. उन लोगों से बात करो, वहां जाओ, उनकी परछाई की तरह वहां खड़ के वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसा कर रहे हैं, देखो, नोट्स लिखो, ऑब्जर्व करो, और ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद शॉप्स में जाके उन लोगों से बातचीत करो, बातचीत करके समझो, समझने के बाद जैसा ये बंदा बोल रहा ना, वैसे एक 3-4 आइडियाज बनाओ. वो 3-4 आइडियाज बनाने के बाद वो आइडियाज भी जाके उनको ही पूछो, सर आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, मैं कैसे बताऊंगा, शायद वो लोग वो ट्राई कर चुके और फेल हुआ, शायद उन लोगों को वो सूझा ही नहीं. तो वैसे 3-4 लिख लो, लिख लेके फिर दुकानों में जाते समय उन लोगों से बात करो, आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, आप वैसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, समझ रहे हो, और वो बीच का कैपिटलिस्ट जो भी होता है वो नहीं खा जाता. Is this making sense? Do you understand now? So you can get into questions like, now where are you getting the raw material from? Now how are you ensuring that when the work is divided among so many houses, how are you ensuring that the quality is the same? अब इतने बावर्चियों में जाते हैं हम लोग, हर बावर्ची में बिरयानी का टेस्ट अलग रहता है, राइट? लेकिन अगर इतने मेंबरों में अगर आप काम बांट रहे हो तो आप कैसे इंश्योर कर रहे हो कि हर साड़ी का क्वालिटी एक ही रहे?
डिफरेंट डिफरेंट रहता है,
चेंज हो जाता है ना, तो उसको स्टैंडर्डाइज आप कैसे कर रहे हो? सो डिग इनटू क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस, रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से ला रहे हो, क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्डाइज कैसे कर रहे हो, कितने लोग काम कर रहे हैं, कितने दिन लग रहे हैं? सर एक साड़ी बनाने में एवरेज में कितना टाइम लगता है?
लेंथ इज 7 sarees लेंथ आ रहा है, उसमें 45 days डाइविंग एंड प्रोसेसिंग एंड वीविंग 45 days.
So one design, one cloth, you can, if you cut, becomes 7 sarees. To make that one entire cloth, it takes approximately 45 days
45 days.
from A to Z. So 45 days to produce 7 sarees. That is with hand. अगर ये machine कर रहा है तो सर?
मशीन पॉसिबल नहीं है हैंडलूम का बारे में.
Handloom machine can't replicate. That is again another thing that I was telling you. When we go to the second component, we want you to look at the machine and we want you to see how complex the machine is and we want you to understand. When I say complex, जो चीज जितनी सिंपल होती है ना वो उतनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होती है. तो वो एक चीज इतनी सिंपल है, इतनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है कि 50-100 सालों में कोई भी मशीन नहीं बना सका उसको. ऑटोमेट नहीं कर
ट्राई
पाया.
करा वो पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि ये टाई एंड डाई का डिजाइन रहता है. एक एक धागा डिजाइन के बारे में एडजस्ट करके बुनता है, उसके बारे में वो मशीन में नहीं होता है. मशीन में होता क्या है, प्लेन क्लॉथ, वार टू प्लेन, वेब टू प्लेन है. तो मशीन में करे तो 1 घंटा में लाख का मीटर प्रोडक्शन होता है. ये हैंडलूम में होता नहीं, एक एक धागा एडजस्ट करके बुनता है ना, उसके बारे में मशीन में नहीं करता है, ओनली हाथ से बनता है.
Of the thread is happening first and then the weaving happens. So if there is an elephant design, if there's a design like that, imagine that the thread is designed, the thread coloring is happening first and then it is adjusted for it to become that pattern. Whereas in your ready-made stuff, the whole saree is there and the pattern is just printed on it, which is easy. But अगर तुमको thread align करके, adjust करके, ऊपर नीचे करके, box बना के नेक की तरह अगर तुम्हें stitch करना है, so that is a lot of work. Yes.
आपने जैसे कहा कि मार्केट में फेक प्रोडक्ट्स भी, तो उसको मतलब कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करें?
ये लोग उससे बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है.
वही प्रॉब्लम है हमारा को, वही प्रॉब्लम मार्केट के बारे में. यही प्रिंटेड सारी हमारा पोचंपल्ली डिजाइन से प्रिंटेड होते हैं मगर गुजरात में बड़ा बड़ा बिल्डिंग्स था, उसमें पोचंपल्ली डिजाइन प्रिंट करके बेचता है, पोचंपल्ली साड़ी बोलते हैं. यही एक्चुअल पोचंपल्ली साड़ी 7,000 to 10,000 बीच में रहता. वो वर्जल सिल्क, वर्जल डिजाइन पोचंपल्ली. वही प्रिंटेड साड़ी पहले 500 to 1,000 बिलो. कस्टमर क्या मालूम होता है, पोचंपल्ली साड़ी वैसा दिखता है बोल के परचेस कर. वही प्रॉब्लम था मार्केट में.
अभी तक उसका कोई उपाय नहीं है. निकालो कुछ.
बड़ा कंपनी वालों को हम फाइटिंग करने का हमारा छोटा है, वो कंपनी बड़ा वाला है, फिर उनसे लड़ा करने को मेरा आशा नहीं है. ये
And exactly at this point your job comes. This is the main objective of the visit.
Now you are understanding. Now you know why you are here.
एक बार ये आइटम परचेस करके आप यूज करें तो आपको मालूम पड़ता वो फॉलूम का कैसा रहता है, वो हैंडलूम का कैसा है, डिफरेंट क्या है, वो तो आप यूज करने के बाद मालूम पड़ता है.
Just by only seeing the
By
cloth.
touching and seeing you can differentiate. Because when something is made first and then printed versus when something has been colored and then weaved, you can obviously tell the difference.
Sir, does the community educate viewers about the trends and demands in the market?
Yes, the community does update the viewers with the latest patterns, with the latest designs, what is in, what is not. Now another thing that you need to understand over here is who decides what is latest? These people. So you need to understand when you go into these houses, you don't know what inspiration, what is inspiring them, where that design is coming from, but what? Because I'll tell you how the design is also made. तुमको लग रहा है ये लोग इसको लेके स्केच करते हैं? नहीं, वो डिजाइन कैसा बनता है पता है? अभी धागा है, धागे के ऊपर अभी तो साइकिल का टायर होता है. अभी हम लोग जाके देखेंगे ये साइकिल का टायर होता है. साइकिल के टायर का रबर के पतले धागे बना के, अब ये रस्सी जो रहता है धागा पे, the design is made by tying knots of the rubber on the thread. Understand the logic? So you take a white thread, you tie rubber in multiple places and then you dye the thread. What happens? जहां पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहां पे रबर है वहां पे डिजाइन नहीं आएगा. जहां पे रबर नहीं है वहां पे कलर आएगा. So then you remove the rubber. There is some pattern coming. Then you tie the rubber in other places and then you dye it another color. Then you remove the rubber. Then you put the rubber in other places. You dye it in another color. Like that, you're making a design with using rubber, right? And dyeing. That's why it's called tie and dye. You're tying and dyeing. You're tying and dyeing, and the design and the coloring happens. Now you take that colored thread and you arrange it to make a design out of it, like an elephant or like whatever it is. And then you arrange it. After you arrange it, you put it in that machine and then you start weaving for 15 hours, 20 hours. And then that design gets interlocked. Oh,
Sir, just like Louis Vuitton and other famous luxury brands, we can also market Pochampally as a luxury brand, sir, which makes us only the members to buy the products, which in turn creates, there wouldn't be.
So you are already jumping into solutions,
yeah,
because you heard the problem from my mouth. Yeah. Agreed? So we want to give you 5 stages. Now he's right, he's on the correct point. We want to give you 5 stages. First stage is observe करो. उन लोगों से बात करो, वहां जाओ, उनकी परछाई की तरह वहां खड़ के वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसा कर रहे हैं, देखो, नोट्स लिखो, ऑब्जर्व करो. और ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद शॉप्स में जाके उन लोगों से बातचीत करो. बातचीत करके समझो. समझने के बाद जैसा ये बंदा बोल रहा ना, वैसे एक 3-4 आइडियाज बनाओ. वो 3-4 आइडियाज बनाने के बाद वो आइडियाज भी जाके उनको ही पूछो, सर आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, मैं कैसे बताऊंगा. शायद वो लोग ट्राई कर चुके और फेल हुआ, शायद उन लोगों को वो सूझा ही नहीं. तो वैसे 3-4 लिख लो. लिख लेके फिर दुकानों में जाते समय उन लोगों से बात करो, आप ऐसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे, आप वैसा क्यों नहीं कर रहे. एरिया जो है वहां पर एक हनी भी है जो अलग तरीके का हनी बनाता है. द हनी बी इज कॉल्ड एपिस डॉर्सेटा. तो ये लोग वहां के आदिवासी लोगों से वो हनी कलेक्ट करवाते हैं, वो लोगों से हनी खरीदते हैं, उन लोगों को हनी का सही दाम देते हैं और वो हनी को ओडी से पैकेज करके मार्केट करके 10 गुना रेट पे बेचते हैं. इसमें ये लोग 30 रुपए का साबुन बनाते हैं, वो वेस्ट से हनी बी वैक्स का साबुन 30 रुपए का. तुम लोगों में से कम 2 या 3 लोगों ने वो 30 रुपए का साबुन फैब इंडिया में जाके 350 रुपए में खरीदा होगा. और वो हनी के वेस्ट से बनता है और ये लास्ट फॉरेस्ट फैब इंडिया वाले को 30 रुपए में बेचता है. और वो 350 रुपए में से वो फार्मर जो पहाड़ चढ़ के अपनी जिंदगी को दांव पे लगा के जो शहद निकालता है ना, वो 350 में से उसको एक भी पैसा नहीं पहुंचता है, क्योंकि उसको तो लगता है ये तो शहद का वेस्ट है. सेल इट इन डॉलर्स.
कौन सा है, कैसा करेंगे, वो न्यूज में है, वो भी उन्होंने
from house to house, you will not get to see everything from A to Z. You will get to see B, C somewhere, you will get to see A somewhere else, then you will get to see D, E, F somewhere else, and you will have to add it up together in your head. That is the beauty of it. So now let me just explain the process first. So the raw material is brought. It's not like this. It is more yellowish in color and it comes in bundles. And now that is given to them worth, 8 saris length, and then the design is given to them, the color is given to them, and a time is given to them and say bring this back in this much time in the form of a sari. So now what does the weaver do? He comes here, he removes those bundles and all, and he boils it in hot water to start treating it. So you remove the raw material, remove the initial coating and all and everything, treating it. So once the initial treatment and drying is done, he brings it over here, and this is called wielding. What happens over here is that now that bunch, that bundle that is there, now that bundle using this machine is weaved and segregated into multiple types, right? Each thread has been separated. initially this used to be happen by the women of the house, and they used to do it manually. So this used to take 2 to 3 days for like 8 saris. But now this can happen a lot more faster and a lot more quicker, this entire wielding. Now once this wielding is done, then it goes into that area. There, what is the lady sitting over there and doing is, first she is, if it is on both the threads, then it is called double ikat, right? So with the design, it is decided whether it's going to, where the design is going to be, how it is going to be. It is sketched. Once the sketching is done, the process is called tie and dye, right? So wherever the color, a particular color is supposed to come, they tie rubber over there. And then the remaining of the thread is put in a certain color. Like for example, if you want the design to be gold, and if you want the sari to be pink, then the gold part is tied with the rubber so that pink color doesn't stick over there. And then the entire sari is dyed in pink color. So if you see over there, you will see like a entire sari being tied up and dyed and brought out. Come here, can you all just come? It looks at step 1, right? When the raw material is boiled and washed, this is how it looks. This is pure silk, right? After this, that building happens over there, where it has been refined. Then the design of the rubber, right? The drawing of it, the tying of the rubber and everything. Then it goes into the dyeing process.
మార్కింగ్ చేస్తున్నారు. చేసుకున్న తర్వాత ఎక్కడైతే వైట్ రావాలో ఈ రబ్బర్ చుట్టుకున్న దగ్గర వైట్ వస్తుంది. తర్వాత కలర్ అద్దుతారు. కలర్ అద్దిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఆ కలర్ మళ్ళీ రబ్బర్ తోటి టై చేస్తారు. మళ్ళీ వేరే కలర్ అట్లా ఎన్ని కలర్ కావాలంటే అన్ని వాళ్ళు రబ్బర్ తోటి టై చేస్తారు.
Is everybody here? Yes. After dyeing, this is how it looks. Now you see where all the color was not supposed to come, the rubber is tied. Wherever the color is supposed to be pink, the sari is dyed in pink. Right? Now to this, they might take out these rubbers, tie rubber somewhere else and then put like a yellow color on it. Something like that to make a mix. And this is like, I think 5 saris. This entire thing. Now once this dyeing is done, these are taken out. And then they're taken out, stretched, and this arrangement, 2, 3, 4 dyeing, then it goes out for stretching and arrangement, and then the same things are brought in, fit into this machine, and the weaving starts.
Step by step. మాకు అర్థమవుతుంది, మేము ఇంటనే ఉట్టి చేసాం కదా.
ड्राई करने के बाद, and now you see boiling is happening. इसमें ऐसा डुबा के मिलाते, इसमें डुबाते, बॉइल हल्का बॉइल होता है.
ఇక్కడే చేస్తారా అండి పని?
అందరు చేయాలి పని, ఒకరు చేస్తే నడవది. ఒక ఆయనతో ఆయన భార్య అందరు పట్టాలు చుట్టాలు ముగ్గురు నడుస్తాడు.
మీ కొడుకులు
నెలకి ఎంత వస్తుంది? 11-10,000 వస్తుంది. అది
ఎన్ని చైన్ ఇవి చేస్తారు?
చీరల 7-8 చీరలు అవుతుంది అంతే.
నెలకి 7-8
అన్నీ చేసుకోవాలి కదా పని.
7 చీరలు నేస్తే మీకు వచ్చే ఇన్కము
11,000 వస్తుంది.
11,000 వస్తుంది. మీ కొడుకులు వాళ్ళు వీళ్ళందరూ
ముగ్గురు నేస్తున్నారు.
ఆయననా? సో ఈ సిల్క్ దారాలు ఎక్కడి నుంచి తెస్తారు? బెంగళూరు నుంచి తెచ్చుకుంటారా?
బెంగళూరు నుంచి వస్తారు, తెస్తారు వాళ్ళు. సొసైటీ వాళ్ళు తెస్తారు.
మీరు సొసైటీలో మెంబర్స్ కాబట్టి మీకు అక్కడ నుంచి అంతకుముందు మీరు ఒక్కరే పోయి తెచ్చుకుంటుండే, సొసైటీలో మెంబర్ కాకముందు?
ప్రైవేట్లో తెచ్చుకునేది.
ప్రైవేట్లో
అమ్ముతారు, అమ్ముతారు.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు నేసించిన చీర అమ్ముతారు కదా,
సొసైటీ కంపెనీ వాళ్ళు అమ్ముతారు సొసైటీ.
మీకు ఎంత ఇస్తారు ఒక చీరకి? 6,000 7,000 మీకు ఇస్తారు. ఇక అక్కడ బయట 10,000 20,000 అట్లా అమ్ముకుంటారు.
20,000 ఉంటాయి.
ఉండదా?
15,000 అట్లా 10,000 జరి ఇట్లా తక్కువ రేట్ ఉంటుంది. జరి లేదు కదా, తక్కువ రేట్.
అదే జరీ ఉంటే మాత్రం ఎక్కువ రేటు. ఎందుకంటే మేము షాపులలో పోతాం కదా పెళ్ళిళ్ళ దానికి.
ఈ పక్కకునే చూడు మాస్ జరి.
అవునా?
ఆయన నెంబరే, సొసైటీ నెంబరే.
ఒక్కొక్క చీర 50,000 60,000 కూడా ఉంది. జరీ ఎక్కువ ఉన్నది.
ఉంటుంది. ఈ పక్కకు చాలా ఉన్నాయి మొగ్గాలు. అన్ని మొగ్గాల మీద పెద్ద పెద్ద డిజైన్లు జరి ఉంటాయి. మస్తు ఉంటుంది.
మీ పేరు?
జోగు నారాయణ.
జోగు నారాయణ. థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి.
డబ్బాల మీద బట్టి ఆస్ మీద ఆస్ మిషన్ మీద పోస్తుంది, చిట్కి వస్తుంది. చిట్కి పోసినాక అవి మేము సుక్కలు వేసుకుంటాం, డిజైన్ వేసుకుంటాం. డిజైన్ వేసుకొని అవసరం ఉన్న తన రబ్బర్లు చూసుకొని రంగులు అద్దుతాం. అట్లా
ఎన్ని రంగులు కావాలంటే అన్ని సార్లు రబ్బర్లు.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ రంగు ఉందనుకో, ఈ రంగు ఉంటే ఇది అద్దాలంటే ఇటు పక్క చుట్టుకుంటాం, ఇక్కడ అద్దేస్తాం. అట్లా
ఒకటి మొత్తం ఎండినాకనే ఇంకోటి అద్దాలి మళ్ళీ.
ఎండినాక అద్దకునే మళ్ళీ ఇది చుట్టుకొని మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ అద్దుకుంటాం. ఇప్పుడు ఇది అద్దినాక ఇటు ఇటు చుట్టుకొని ఇది అద్దుతాం. అద్దినాక మళ్ళీ ఇది చుట్టుకొని మళ్ళీ ఇటు అద్దుతాం.
మీకు ఈ డిజైన్ ఎట్లా గుర్తొస్తుంది మరి నేసేటప్పుడు? ఈ పోగులు కరెక్ట్గా వస్తున్నాయా లేవా అని
మేము ఫస్ట్ మూర పెట్టుకుంటాం.
సైడ్స్ మెజర్మెంట్ చేసుకుంటారు మేడం.
ఓకే, ఇట్లా పెట్టుకొని
చీరే 6,000
కూడా ఎంత బాగా చేసుకుంటున్నారు పని, ఎంత బాగా కష్టపడుతున్నారు. అంత ఇదేంటిదమ్మా?
సాల కొంగు జాకెట్ ముక్కకు వస్తుంది.
అది జాకెట్ ముక్కకు వస్తుందా? సాల కొంగు అంటారా దాన్ని? ఇది
ఇది అదే అంతా ఒక్కటే.
అంత ఒకటే.
ఒకటే సీటే.
మీ పేరమ్మా?
నా పేరు జోగు సరోజన.
జోగు సరోజన.
ఈ పేరు చెప్పాలి.
అవును చెప్పాలా, కంపల్సరీ చెప్పాలా, మనకి ఇంటి పేరుతోనే కదా.
చెక్కులు పట్టే తీస్తారు.
తీసి
ఇప్పుడు ఇట్లా ఉంటుందా లేకపోతే
కండలు చుట్టాలి.
చిన్నదానికి చుట్టాలి.
పూస చుట్టి నాడలు పెట్టి నేస్తాం. నేస్తే జాకెట్ ముక్క అవుతుంది. చీర కాగా జాకెట్ ముక్కకి ఇది చీరకి రేట్ ఇది.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది చుడితే అట్లా ఆ లెంత్ వస్తుందా? ఆ మెజర్ మనకు ఎంత కావాలనో అంత వస్తుందా?
మా కొడుకుని
ఆ జాకెట్ ముక్కనా?
కమ్మి వేస్తుండ్రు. చీర కమ్మి పడదు. కొన
కమ్మి పడితే ఇది వేస్తారు. అందరూ ఇక మీ కుటుంబం మొత్తము ఇందులోనే ఈ పని. ఎంత వస్తుందమ్మా నెలకి ఇంత కష్టపడితే?
ఆకు నేస్తే నెల పొద్దు నేస్తే 10,000 11,000 అంతకన్నా ఎక్కువ
కష్టపడితే 10,000
కూలికి నేస్తాం. సంతం
ఎంతమంది చేస్తారు
కుటుంబం చేస్తే ఇద్దరు చేస్తే 10,000 పడుతుంది.
WhatsApp groups, call people over, sell it at double the price. Monthly one trip here, every day people coming home, no rent, no showroom cost, no electricity bill, just buy here, sell there, profit.
And they are deprived.
कुछ नहीं है, supply demand they understand. Housewife. My home to enter. The German Central
ఎంత వెయిట్ కావాలో అంత వెయిట్ కూడా చేస్తున్నాం. దానికోసమే ఇప్పుడు ఇది స్టాండర్డ్. ఈ థ్రెడ్ అనేది స్టాండర్డ్ కాబట్టి ఎంత వెయిట్ ఉండాలో అంత వెయిట్ ఉంటుంది. ఇదైతే ఎక్కువ తక్కువ దానికోసం.
ఇది కాటన్ మీద గోల్డా?
కాటన్ మీద గోల్డ్, లోపల కాటన్ థ్రెడ్ ఉంటుంది, ఇట్లా సిల్క్ థ్రెడ్, దాని మీద గోల్డ్ కవర్ చేస్తుంది.
అది సాగడానికి వాటర్ బాటిల్ వెయిట్ పెడతాం.
అయితే అప్పుడు ఎక్కువ అరబ్ కంట్రీస్ కానీ మన జపాన్, జర్మనీ, సౌత్ ఆఫ్రికా ఈ కంట్రీల కన్నా ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేసేది. అయితే వాళ్ళకున్న వెదర్ని బట్టి ఈ మనం పంపించిన క్లాత్ ఈ స్కిన్ ఎఫెక్ట్ వచ్చిందంట. దానికోసం కొంత బ్యాన్ చేశారు. కాబట్టి ఈ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ లేదు కాబట్టి వీళ్ళకి ఏమున్నా కానీ లోకల్ మార్కెట్ దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకుని ప్రొడక్షన్ చేస్తున్నారు. అదే మనకు ఆర్డర్ వచ్చినానికి ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ సంబంధించింది చేస్తాం రెడీ.
ఏ ఆర్డర్ అయినా, ఏ డిజైన్ అయినా
కానీ ఏ ఆర్డర్ అయినా తయారు చేస్తాం రెడీ. హ్యాండ్లూమ్కి సంబంధించింది.
అదే వాళ్ళకి స్కిన్ ర్యాష్ వచ్చింది కానీ మనకేం కాదు.
వాళ్ళకి వచ్చింది వాళ్ళ
వెదర్ని బట్టి స్కిన్ ర్యాష్ వచ్చింది.
ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ అనేది బ్యాన్ చేసారు వాళ్ళు, దిగుమతి అనేది బ్యాన్ చేశారు. కాబట్టి ఐటమ్స్ మనకి ఏమున్నా లోకల్కి సంబంధించిన మనం
అని ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి సంబంధించినట్టు కూడా చేయొచ్చు. కాటన్లో
అక్కడ ఉన్న వెదర్ మనకు తెలియదు కదా, ఏం కలర్స్ పెడితే
అవునవును
మనకు తెలియకపోవడం వల్ల మనకి.
అదే ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళు ఏం చేయాలో రిసర్చ్ చేయాలి. ఈ పిల్లలు రిసర్చ్ చేసి అక్కడ సూటబుల్ అయ్యే మెటీరియల్ తేవాలా. మీకు చెప్తే మీరు చేసిస్తారు. అవును. అరే
तो सर ये वीवर्स को आप जो पे कर रहे हैं तो इस साड़ी के ऊपर पे कर रहे हैं ना?
नंबर वन इज प्रोडक्ट 4 P's ऑफ मार्केटिंग. अगर मार्केटिंग करना है, जो भी चीज की तुम मार्केटिंग कर रहे हो वो चीज के ये 4 P's तुम्हें इनसाइड आउट मालूम होने चाहिए. नाउ व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट P? द प्रोडक्ट. नाउ व्हाट इज द प्रोडक्ट? हाउ इज द प्रोडक्ट बीइंग मेड? व्हाट गोज इनटू मेकिंग दैट प्रोडक्ट? व्हाट इज द टाइम, मनी, रॉ मटेरियल इन्वॉल्वड इन इट? वो सब तुमने देख लिया अभी. दैट इज द फर्स्ट P. द सेकेंड P इज द प्राइस. Right? What is the cost price? What is the selling price? What is the marketing cost? What is the difference like? Etc. Price. Why is the price high? Why is the price low? What is determining the price? Is the demand determining the price? Is the supply determining the price? Is the duplication determining? What is driving the price? Is the raw material, lack of availability of it driving the price? What is driving the price? The second thing is price. Second P. The third is promotion. इसको कैसे मार्केट कर रहे, इसको कैसे प्रमोट कर रहे. लाइक आई वॉज हैविंग कॉन्वर्सेशंस विद वन ऑफ यू ऑल एंड ही वॉज थिंकिंग अबाउट अ सोल्यूशन कि मैं रॉ मटेरियल का कॉस्ट कैसे कम करूं, मैं वडी से ये प्रोसेस को सस्ता कैसा बनाऊं. उसके दिमाग में ये चल रहा था कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सस्ता करने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा, प्रोडक्ट में लोगों को कम करने, प्रोडक्ट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में लोगों को कम करने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा. आईफोन वाला क्या कर रहा है? आईफोन इज हाउ मच टुडे? फोन ही तो है ना. तो तुम वो तरीके से सोचो कि हाउ कैन आई प्रमोट इट दैट द प्राइसिंग इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ ऑल द अदर थिंग्स, राइट? whatever.
So how are we? What can we do?
Be clear. Don't murmur.
So if you want to promote, how are they promoting and what can they do differently in their promotions? Now the Welfare Housing Society, the Cooperative Society, when I was talking to them when I came here last, I asked them, where do you sell? Where are these products sold? Has anyone asked them? Right? No, so he said, we sell in exhibitions. Now think, how many exhibitions will happen? How many days in 365 days are there exhibitions? Right? And look at the number of people here and look at the production here. How can the sale strategy be that and production be this? How is it going to?
अगर एक प्रोडक्ट एक हाई एंड लग्जरी बेस्ड हैंडकरचीफ है, अगर प्रोडक्ट एक गिफ्ट करने वाली चीज है, अगर प्रोडक्ट एक अच्छी पोचमपल्ली वाली नेहरू जैकेट है, हम लोग नेहरू जैकेट कितने में खरीदते भाई? हमारे पूरे मिनिस्टर्स अगर नेहरू जैकेट पहनना शुरू करें, वो भी पोचमपल्ली का बनाया हुआ, अगर केटीआर 2 बार पहन लेगा तो दुनिया में फेमस हो जाएगा और इन लोगों की जिंदगी बदल जाएगी. So we can keep saying what is the government doing, what is the government doing, or we can come up with something smart in product, in price, in promotion or in place and give it to them as a suggestion so that that same impact happens. So ये 4 चीजें you've understood: product, price, promotion and place. So what we want you to do is give recommendations in these things. In order to give recommendations, you should have data on these things. 5 shops, and then we'll quickly do these 4 P's, write notes, and then head and get into the bus and head for lunch. This is the last component.
Help them financially to set up.
That's good.
Namaste Anna.
నమస్తే అన్న. చూపించండి.
ఏం పక్కన ఇండ్లన్నీ గులగొట్టేసినారు?
అది పక్కన చీరలంబే కాదను శేఖర్ ఆయన ఇక్కడ రేటుకున్నాడు.
మీ పేరు?
నా పేరు రమేష్.
రమేష్.
So father, son, mother. 3 people in the family.
Okay. మీ అత్తమ్మనా? ట్రైన్ యాక్సిడెంట్లో
ఎట్లుంది బిజినెస్ అంతా కూడా?
మీ ఖర్చులన్నీ వస్తున్నాయా రమేష్ అన్న బయటకి? వెల్ఫేర్ సొసైటీలు ఇచ్చేసేయాలి. వర్షం పడతానా? ఎందుకు? డిజైన్ కలవదా? ఓ డిజైన్కి ఇట్లా పొడి ఎందుకు? వర్షం పడితే మాయిశ్చర్ వల్ల అతుక్కపోతాయా పోగులు? వర్షం కూడా పడొద్దు.
London Management Academy, and I'm pursuing my undergraduation. I'm doing my BCom final year, and today I'm going to talk about our visit to Pochampally. And in Cooperative Society, we had met a person. He had given us total information about how many members were included in that cooperative society, and there were many ideas and solutions which were discussed in the cooperative society.
What problems did you understand?
The problems which we understood is criteria of the handloom weavers, which is the 4 P's. This is basically a concept in marketing, which the 4 P's, which stands for price, product, place, and promotion. Okay, so we had gone to each and every store where we had we had gathered some kind of information about the prices of an average single ikat sari and a double ikat sari. Okay, the average price of a single ikat sari is 6,000 rupees and the average price of a double ikat sari is 9,000 rupees. And there the distributors get their ikat saris from, who sells them, and what is the amount of, and how do they promote their products. And they basically promote their products by using social media, that is through Instagram or Facebook, you can say.
Hi guys, this is Shreya from London Management Academy. I am studying BBA in 3rd year. So today I am going to speak about the handloom process which I have learned yesterday in Pochampally. So we have learned about ikat and its types, degumming of silk yarn, and the dyeing process, loom and its usage, wrap and ref process. There are 2 types of ikat, single ikat and double ikat. Thank you.
Hi, I am Mohammad Samir from 2nd year BBA. I am graduating from London Management Academy. I am here to talk about the industrial visit of Pochampally. Pochampally village located about 50 kilometers east of Hyderabad is also known as Ikat capital of India. This village is famous for handloom works. It includes delicate of hand-woven ikat saris. It is prevalent to note the Pochampally sari also received a geographical indication GI tag in 2005. And I thank our management for arranging such a wonderful tour.
Hi friends, I am Sheikh Suban. I am from BBA 2nd year, London Management Academy. Yesterday we have visited Pochampally for a local industrial visit. There we have learned about ikat production. The ikat production was started in Telangana in 1955 on 10th of November. And the process is like first collection of raw material, then removing of wastage from it, then boiling process is done for the raw material. After the boiling of raw material, the material which was boiled in water is to be dried in sun, and then it is gone for the marking process. The process of ikat making is divided into 14 steps totally. The first step is collection of raw material. After the collection of raw material, the raw material is sent for boiling in hot water. After boiling the raw material, the material is dried in sun. After that, the yarning process is done. The yarning process is like a cycle wheel. The thread is spun on a cycle wheel. Then it is prepared on bundles. Then they tie the threads on a machine like a triangular shaped machine. There they do the graphing process of the design. Then it is sent for dyeing. The dyeing is done on separate processes it is according to the design which is graphed on the threads. After the graph is done, they tie the knots with rubber tubes. The rubber tubes are removed after dyeing process.
Hi everyone. My name is Mohammad Sisodia. I am pursuing BBA 2nd year in the London Management Academy. I am here to say some few words about our last visit to Pochampally. Pochampally is one of the best tourism places of Telangana. It was selected by United Nations World Tourism Organization. It was awarded the best tourism place of Telangana by United Nations World Tourism Organization. And I like to thank the management for arranging such a wonderful trip for us.